Good evening, dear students. So finally today the NEET exam, which was postponed in ODISHA, was held today on 20th of May. So here we are from Pathfinder for the students of our ODISHA is organizing the solution of chemistry NEET exam held on 20th May. Let's start with question number 136. Yes, dear students, see that a very simple mass the following is given. Suppose Na2O, we all know that Na2O will be basic in nature. Okay, Al2O3 is a very famous amphoteric oxide, we all know. N2O is a neutral oxide and Cl2O7 is an acidic oxide. So the answer is very simple. It will be option number 3. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 137. 137 is also a match the following type question, where the various kind of catalysts are given and the process for which they are used, it is also given. So we have to just match the answer. Now V2O5, from the time immemorial, from class 10 onwards, we know that V2O5 is used as a very famous catalyst for oxidation of SO2 in the manufacture of H2SO4. That is the contact process. Okay, now this TiCl4 and AlCH3 whole thrice, we all know that it is known as very famous Ziegler-Natta catalyst. So it is used in the polymerization of ethylene. Now here comes the next two, PDCl2. PDCl2 is used for the oxidation of ethine to ethanol, and nickel complex is used for the polymerization of alkynes. Okay, fine. So the answer of 137 question will be option number 4, Roman 1C, Roman 2D, Roman 3A, and Roman 4 is B. Okay, so ऑप्शन नंबर 4 विल बी द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. अच्छा देखो, ये बहुत ही एक आसान सा सवाल है. मोस्ट स्टेबल carbocation among the following. We all know that the stability of carbocation is measured in terms of alpha hydrogen. Here all the structures that are given, we have to just count the number of alpha hydrogen. More the number of alpha hydrogen, more will be the stability. In the first, there are 4 alpha hydrogen in the first option. In the second option, there are here is 3, here is 2. So ultimately 5 alpha H. In the next one, only 2 alpha H. Okay, only 2 alpha H. And in the last one, I think there is only 3 alpha H, because there is no alpha H on this carbon. Okay, so the most stable carbocation will be the option number 2. A very easy question once again. So let's move on to the next question. That is question number 139. The alkane that gives only monochloro product on chlorination with Cl2 in presence of diffuse sunlight. Now the first option that is given here is neopentane. Now the structure of neopentane is like this. Okay, so whatever we do here, if we apply monochlorination process, only one kind of monochloro product can be obtained, because all the products will be same of nature. But in all the other options, if you carefully see, that more than one type of monochloro products can be obtained. So the answer is option number 1. Okay, let's move on to the next question. That is question number 140. Now here is an interesting question. First of all, we have to remember that many students will make mistake over here, that this is a propane. Okay, now propane, when it is passed through a red hot iron tube at near about 873 Kelvin, the product that is produced is known as, I hope you can recall the product, it is mesitylene. Okay, it is mesitylene. Now if we carefully count the total number of sigma bonds over here, it will come, if we count all the sigma bonds over here, it will count 21. Okay, you have to count all the sigma bonds. In the upper carbon, there will be 3 plus 1, 4. In this carbon also 3 plus 1, 4. In this carbon also 3 plus 1, 4. So automatically 4 3s are 12 are gone. And here there will be 1 hydrogen. Here there is 1 hydrogen. Here there is 1 hydrogen. So more 3 hydrogens are over here also. Okay. So here comes actually 15. Okay, after 15 there will be 16, 17, 18, 19 and again 20. Okay, so in all the carbons, see over here there will be 1 plus 3, 4. Okay, over here will be 1 plus 3, 4. Over here will be 1 plus 3, 1 plus 3, that means 4. So ultimately 4 3s are 12. 12 we can easily notice, right? After 12, then what we have to do is that we have to count these hydrogens also, 1, 2 and 3. So 12 plus 3 automatically comes 15. 15 comes from here. After that 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. So in all there will be 21 sigma bonds. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is a very easy question. That is a reaction that does not give benzoic acid as a major product. See, all the reagents that are given over here are strong oxidizing agents except one, that is PCC, that is a mild oxidizing agent, right? So we know that mild oxidizing agent, when it is treated with an 1 degree alcohol, it ultimately will produce aldehyde. So it will not give acid as the major product. Okay, so option number 2 will be the correct option. Let's move on to the next question, students. 142, the amine that reacts with Hinsberg's reagents to give an alkali insoluble product. Now you might know that in the Hinsberg's reagent, ultimately this amine is a 3 degree amine. 3 degree amine does not react. This amine is a 1 degree amine. 1 degree amine react, but it will be soluble. Okay. Now this amine is also ultimately a 1 degree amine. Now this amine is a 2 degree amine. This 2 degree amine gives alkali insoluble product. Okay, fine. So option number 4 will be the correct option. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 143. Now 143, which structure of protein remains intact during denaturation process? Okay, fine. Now this is a question, I think, that is directly from NCERT. So we recommend from Pathfinder that all students should start preparing from NCERT, at least the inorganic part, because it is very, very important. They are directly giving the questions from each and every line of NCERT even. Now this is a line which is obtained from the new version of NCERT. That is, I think it is in page number 147. If any students has got NCERT in their hands, they can open page number 147. Sorry, I'm wrong. It is actually 417. Okay, there are directly a line is written that during denaturation, actually 2 degree and 3 degree structures are destroyed, but 1 degree structures remain intact. That means primary structure only. See what they are doing from NCERT. So it is mandatory to study NCERT. Now the polymer that is used as a substitute for wool in making commercial fiber, it is also a question directly from NCERT given. It will be polyacrylonitrile. Okay, it is an informative question. We have to study NCERT very well to get adapt to these sort of questions in future also. Next, the artificial sweetener stable at cooking temperature, stable at just this line is written in NCERT and does not provide calories. Exactly this particular line has been brought out from NCERT. It is in page number 450. Page number 450 of new version. Okay. And its answer will be sucralose. Sucralose will be the answer. Okay. Let's move on to the next question, students. Okay, now comes a question of physical chemistry. The density of 2 molar aqueous solution of NaOH is given as 1.28 gram per centimeter cube. We have to find out the molality, the molecular mass of NaOH is given. See, students, I am giving you a formula. It is a very important formula actually. Molality equal to, whenever molarity is given and the density of solute is given, we can directly apply this formula that molality equal to 1000 into molarity by 1000 into density minus molarity into molar mass of the solute. Molar mass of the solute. Now we all know molarity is given, that is 2. Density is given, that is 1.28. Molarity here also 2. And molar mass of the solute. Solute here is NaOH. Also the molar mass is also given, that is 40. If we just put the value and calculate, it will directly come to 1.67. Okay. Is it okay, students? Coming on to the next question. Question number 147, a very easy question. Orbital having angular nodes and total nodes. Three angular nodes and 3 total nodes. Now we know that angular nodes is just the value of L. Okay, azimuthal quantum number, and total nodes is actually n minus 1. Now if we can see the option 3D, now D has value of L is equal to 2, so it is not possible. Now 4F, F has value of L is equal to 3, so angular nodes is equal to 3. Now the total nodes means n minus 1, its n value is 4, so 4 minus 1, ultimately both are coming as 3, so option 2 will be the correct option. Okay, let's move on to the next question, students. 148. In a hydrogen atom, the de Broglie wavelength of an electron in the second Bohr orbit, de Broglie wavelength of an electron in the second Bohr orbit, given that Bohr's radius a naught equal to 52.9 picometer. Okay, fine. So we know that the formula is 2 pi r equal to n lambda, right? Now instead of r, we have to put that formula n square by z into 52.9. It is given in picometer. Okay, now here is again n lambda. In place of n, we'll again put ultimately 2, and lambda, we have to find out lambda ultimately. So lambda will come about near about 4 pi, z to is 1. Here in place of n, we'll again put 2, so 2 and 2 will get cancelled, 1 2 will remain, so ultimately 4 pi into 52.9. Now if we calculate it, it will exactly come to the answer 211.6 pi. 211.6 pi. We are keeping the pi intact, just 52.9 into 4. Okay, if we just add multiply 52.9 into 4, it will come 211.6 pi picometer. Okay, so option 1 is our correct option. Let's move on to the next question, students. A very easy question again from physical chemistry. The volume occupied by 1.8 gram of water vapor at 374 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the formula, a very famous formula which we are studying from class 10 onwards, PV will be equal to nRT. Now the pressure we all know that is given that 1 bar. Now 1 bar is equal to 1 atm. Okay, so we have to find out the volume. Volume will be equal to number of moles. Number of moles is given mass divided by molar mass. What is the molar mass of water? Molar mass of water will be 1.8 divided by 18, that is 0.1, so it will be 0.1 into value of R is given 0.083. Now temperature is also given, that is 374 degrees centigrade. That means 374 plus 273, that means near about, I think it will be 647. Okay, now it will be divided by 1 because pressure is 1 atm. So if we now calculate it after putting all the values, it will come option number 3, 5.37 liter. You just have to calculate it. I have done all the values. It is coming 5.37 liter. Okay, let's move on to the next question, students. Number 150, an ideal gas expands isothermally, so work done by the system, it will be negative from 10 to the power minus 3 to 10 to the power minus 2. Volume is increasing, so obviously work done is by the system, it is negative. We all know that W is equal to minus P external into V2 minus V1. So minus P external, here it will be, minus sign is given, it will be 10 to the power 5 into, what is V2? 1 by 100 minus what is V1? 1 by 1000. Okay, so we have to just apply this formula. It will come minus 10 to the power 5 into 9 by 10 to the power 3. So answer will be minus 900 joule. So option 1 is our correct option. Option 1 is our correct option. Okay, minus 900 joule. Let's move on to the next question, students. 151, it is a very tricky type of question. You have to know just one information about it. See, here it is also given, you don't have to recall even that AB is an isothermal and AC is adiabatic. Okay, now see the options carefully, which is not correct here. Now see, adiabatic, in case of adiabatic expansion actually results in cooling. So obviously the temperature will be less, But see the option number 3 carefully. In option number 3 it is mentioned that TC is greater than TA. Is it correct? It can't be correct. TC will be less than TA. So this option is not correct. Option number 3 will be your answer. Next, following limiting molar conductivities are given. Okay, fine. Lambda naught m of H2SO4 is given. It is a very easy question. Students, you just have to manipulate all the 3 equations and you have to get CH3COOH. Okay, so ultimately if we want CH3COOH, what we will do, we can do one thing, that I'm just multiplying it by half. I'm also multiplying it by half, and after that what I'm doing is that this equation I'm writing, that equation number 3, okay, plus actually equation number 1 minus equation number 2. That means ultimately it will be Z plus, see that, because ultimately here it is divided, it is into half is done, so automatically all the things will get cancelled, and ultimately what will appear, it will be x by 2, it will be y by 2, so ultimately it will be x minus y by 2, right? So Z plus x minus y by 2 will be the answer. So the answer will be option number 3. Okay, let's move on to the next question. A first order reaction as rate constant. As a rate constant, we know that the formula for the first order reaction, we have to find out time. So I am manipulating it and writing it 1 by K into 2.303 log of A0 by AT, right? It is a very easy question, my dear students. The value of K is given 2.303 into 10 to the power minus 3. Ultimately it is 1 by, okay, I am writing it freshly, 1 by 2.303. Instead of writing 10 to the power minus 3 in the denominator, I am just writing over here 10 to the power 3. Now it will be into 2.303 into log of, now see, 40 gram, it has been reduced to 10 grams. So ultimately it will be 40 by 10. Ultimately it will be log 4. Log 4 means 2 log 2. This and this gets cancelled. So ultimately 10 cube, that means 1000 into 2 log of 2. Log of 2 means ultimately it will be 0.3. So 2 into 0.3 comes 0.6. So ultimately 0.6 into 1000, it will come near about 600 seconds. So which option will be correct? Yes, 602 seconds. Okay, fine. Next, for a reaction, activation energy EA is 0. See, it is a very easy funda, because if EA is 0, then ultimately the rate constant cannot depends on temperature. If we increase or decrease the temperature, there will be no way out of solving any question, because we know that K is equal to A into e to the power minus EA by RT, right? EA is the activation energy. So this total value is becoming 0. E to the power 0 means 1. A is also ultimately constant. So ultimately the value of rate constant will remain constant. It will never depend on temperature. So ultimately the value of rate constant will remain as it is, and it will be 1.6 into 10 to the power 6 second inverse. Okay, let's move on to the next question, my students. The correct option representing a friendly adsorption theorem. Okay, fine. Actually, see, x by m, we know that it is directly proportional to, suppose, p to the power, but it is equal to, I am writing it k into p to the power 1 by n. Okay. So this value of 1 by n, it actually lies between 0 and 1. So ultimately see, here it is 2.5, it cannot be the answer. Here it is minus 0.5, minus cannot be any answer. Here also minus cannot be, here 0.3. So it is lying between 0 and 1. So option 4 is our correct option. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is paramagnetic? It is a very familiar question. Without even looking at all the solving or the applying molecular orbital theory concept and electronic configuration, we can easily solve, because we know that O2 is paramagnetic, because the last two electrons of O2 goes into pi star 2px1 and pi star 2py1. So obviously it is paramagnetic in nature because unpaired electron remains. Okay, so O2 is paramagnetic. Let's move on to the question number 157. Correct order of dipole moment. Now BF3. Now BF3 obviously has got zero dipole moment, right? You can remember why. BF3 will have got zero dipole moment, right? 120 degree. Okay, now between NF3 and NH3, we very well know that NH3 has more dipole moment than NF3, because fluorine is more electronegative in nature. Okay, so ultimately between NF3 and NH3, NF3 has lesser dipole moment, and between NH3 and H2O, H2O has greater dipole moment. Okay, so option 1 will be our correct option. Okay, let's move on to the next question, 158. Crude sodium chloride obtained by crystallization. Crude sodium chloride obtained by crystallization of brine solution does not contain. Here also it is a direct question of NCERT. It is written in NCERT, just this direct line is written, and over there it is written that what it contains. Okay, in that line you will see that it does not contain magnesium chloride, and we all know that it obtained by crystallization of brine solution does not contain magnesium chloride, because magnesium chloride, obviously we all know that magnesium chloride is a deliquescent substance, right? We all know from class 10 level. Okay, so it can't be magnesium chloride. Ultimately answer option is 2. Let's move on to the question number 159. Which of the alkali metal chloride MCl forms dihydrate salt? Okay, fine. That means whose hydration energy is greater, it can form. Obviously, between all these, lithium has got more hydration energy due to smaller cation, right? Achha, so, and LiCl remains in the form LiCl.2H2O. Okay, so option 4 will be our correct option. Let's move on to the question number 160. The liquefied gas that is used in dry cleaning along with a suitable detergent. Okay, liquefied gas, here also it is written in NCERT, this line. Okay, it will be petroleum gas. It is an informative type of question. You just have to memorize it. You have to study NCERT for inorganic chemistry very, very well. Okay, let's move on to the question number 161. Now here comes a question from organic chemistry, the hydrolysis reaction. Now we all know the hydrolysis reactions are basically the SN1 type of reaction. Now SN1 type of reaction follows through a carbocation. Okay, so automatically the intermediate is carbocation. More the stable intermediate, more will be the rate of reaction. Less the stable intermediate, lesser will be the rate of reaction. So we see that here it is a 1 degree carbocation will generate. Okay, here also we are seeing that obviously here this will be a very stable intermediate, because here it will be plus and it will be supported by resonance. Here also benzyl, so obviously it is very well. And here if the chlorine is removed, suppose, then it is a very, very unstable carbocation and it never forms. Actually, in one case only it is formed, in case of benzene diazonium ion. So obviously here no SN1 and no SN2 occurs. So answer will be option number 4. Okay, let's move on to the next question. When vapors of secondary alcohol is passed over heated copper, secondary alcohol is passed over heated copper, then the product formed is a ketone. Okay, product formed will be a ketone. Actually, when it is passed over secondary alcohol, then ultimately what happens? Actually, this bond actually breaks. Okay, and ultimately a ketone will be the resulted product. Okay, very easy question. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 163. The major products of C and D formed. Okay, fine. Suppose here oxygen has got lone pair, excess HI. So obviously H plus will be protonated in the first step. So ultimately CH3, CH2, CH2, O H and oxygen will bear a positive charge, and ultimately this will be CCH3 whole thrice. Okay, no bond is there. In all the places there is CH3. Okay, and now in the next step what will happen? Obviously the more stable carbocation will be this. So ultimately here the alcohol will be formed, CH3, CH2, CH2, and here it will be OH, and plus this product will be ultimately CH3 whole thrice C, and it will be I, because I minus will attack over here. Okay, now if it is in excess, then once again this oxygen will protonate ultimately the H plus, then ultimately this will go out here, another carbocation will be formed ultimately, and no carbocation is formed, because actually it is passing through a SN2 mechanism. It is a 1 degree carbon, and ultimately what will happen when this OH2 plus is there, I minus actually will attack from the back side and will liberate the H2O. Okay, because OH2 plus is a very good leaving group. So ultimately here from here also no carbocation actually forms. No, here first step actually what happens, CCH3 whole thrice. So C plus, and ultimately I minus comes and attacks C plus and forms CCH3 whole thrice I. Now in the next step what happens? See, so the answer will be ultimately CH3, CH2. Now here it will be CH2 and here it will be I. Okay, so these two will be our main products. Is it clear, my dear students? Okay, so the option will be, I think, option number 4. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Next question is a very easy question. pH of 0.1 molar. 0.01 molar. 0.01 molar means ultimately 1 by actually 100, 1 by 10 square, that means 10 to the power minus 2, 10 to the power minus 2 molar. POH will be directly 2. Okay, if POH is 2, quite natural, the pH, now the pH will be, we all know that 14 minus 2, it will be 12. Okay, so a very easy question, my dear students. You have to just apply your simple logic of ionic equilibrium, that pH of 0.01 molar NaOH solution will be, this is the plain and simple question, that is 10 to the power minus 2 molar. That means the POH will be 2. Okay, because POH is minus log of OH minus. Okay, so minus log of 10 to the power minus 2. So ultimately it will be 2, and ultimately POH is 2, pH will be equal to 12, because 14 minus 2 is 12. Okay, so option number 2 will be our correct option. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following cannot act both as Bronsted acid and Bronsted base? Very simple question, because HCl can only act as acid, it can't act as base. Okay, a very logical, a very simple question. Next, 166, the molar solubility of CaF2. Now the KSP is given over here. Okay, if the KSP is given and in 0.1 molar solution of NaF, so from here also F minus ion, so it is a concept of actually common ion effect. Okay, so KSP will be actually Ca2 plus 2F minus, suppose if it is S and it is 2S, ultimately from NaF also there is also coming, so I am directly putting the value 5.3 into 10 to the power minus 11 will be equal to S into, ultimately it will be 2S. Now from 2S and from NaF it is coming as 0.1, so 2S plus 0.1, it will be whole square. So obviously solubility is a negligible phenomenon. This term, we will neglect this term. Ultimately what happens? Solubility will be equal to 5.3 into 10 to the power minus 11 divided by 0.1 into 0.1. It will be coming solubility equal to 5.3 into 10 to the power minus 9. Okay, so option 2 will be our correct option. Let's move on to question number 167. I think it is wrongly given. CrO6 cannot be any compound, it will be CrO5, and in CrO5 we all know that there is a peroxy linkage. ultimately the structure of CrO5 is just like this. Okay, so ultimately each oxygen possesses, this is a peroxy linkage, this will be -1, this is -1, this is -1. Now only this oxygen bears -2, so the chromium will be in +6 state to balance. Okay, it is a very common question. Let's move on to question number 168. The number of hydrogen bonded water molecule associated with CuSO4.5H2. Now here actually in copper sulfate with copper 4 H2O molecules are attached, and with sulfate, okay, there will be only one H2O molecule which is hydrogen bonded. So only one molecule is there which is hydrogen bonded. Okay, clear? You have to see the structure to get easily adapt this sort of questions, because this sort of questions, if you don't remember the structure properly, you can't feel confident in exam hall. Okay, let's move on to question number 169. Now formula of nickel oxide with metal deficiency defect. It is a very common type of question, just Fe 0.980 type of question. Now I'm assuming that, suppose let +2 charge Ni +2 present is X, so ultimately it will be 2X plus Ni +3 charge will be the rest, that means 0.98 minus X, and the total will be equal to ultimately 2. Okay, because total charge on nickel will be 2. So ultimately from X here, if we calculate, it will come 0.94. Now we have to calculate just the fraction of nickel existing as Ni +2. So the fraction will be 0.94 divided by the total. Total means 0.98. Approximately it will come 0.96. Okay, option 4 will be our correct option. Let's move on to the question number 170. Which of the following statement is correct regarding a solution of two components A and B exhibiting positive deviation from ideal behavior? Now positive deviation from ideal behavior, delta H must be greater than 0, delta V also greater than 0. So first two options are not correct. Intermolecular attractive forces between AA and BB are equal. No. Intermolecular attractive forces between AA and BB are stronger than those between A and B. Now this one will be the correct option for positive deviation. Okay, then only the vapor pressure of the resulting will be more, and it will be the positive deviation. Question number 171, the partial pressure of dry air, you need to find it out. Actually the partial pressure of dry air means the total pressure into the mole fraction of the dry air. Okay, so in that the mole fraction of actually dry air was not given. The mole fraction of vapor was given, that was given as 0.2. Okay, so obviously the mole fraction of dry air will be ultimately 0.02 was given, mole fraction of vapor, the water vapor. So mole fraction of dry air will be 1 minus 0.02, it will be 0.98, and the total pressure given was 1.2. Just 1.2 into 0.98, if we do, it will come 1.176 atm. Okay, I think option number 2 was correct. Option number 2 was correct. Okay, let's move on to the question number 172. The standard electrode potential values are given. See, all the reduction potential values are given. Al +3 to Al, Ag +2 Ag, K +2 K. You must know one thing, lower the reduction potential, lower the reduction potential, okay, lower the reduction potential, higher is the reducing property, higher is the reducing property. We have to correct decreasing order of the reducing power, decreasing order, most reducing to less reducing. Okay, so here the reduction potential value, of Ag +2 Ag is more, so it will have lesser reducing power. So Ag will come at last. We are seeing more options. If Ag is coming at last, no, this option will be correct by default. Let's check now. K will have What is the reduction potential value of K? K plus 2 K is minus 2.93. I think this is the most lowest value, so it will have high reducing power. So there is no point that option 1 will be your correct option. Let's move on to question number 173. Aluminium chloride in acidified aqueous solution forms a complex A. Now the complex A that is formed, it is actually Al H2O whole 6, actually 3 plus. Okay. Now what is the hybridization? First two options will not be correct. These two options. Now Al plus 3 means it is going to neon. Up to neon it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Okay. Now after 2p6 there will be 3s and there will be ultimately 3p and after that there will be ultimately 3d. Okay. So it will be quite obvious that it will be 3s, it will be 3p, so it will be sp3d2. Okay, because we have the coordination number is 6, it will be sp3d2. So fourth option will be our correct option. Let's move on to question number 174. Which of the following compounds is used in cosmetic surgery? Again a question which is directly coming from NCERT. It will be option number 2, that is silicones. It will be option number 2, that is silicones. Okay, it is directly written in NCERT even. Okay, let's move on to question number 175. Identify the correct statement. Minerals are naturally occurring chemical substance. Incorrect statement. We have to identify the incorrect statement. Minerals are naturally occurring chemical substance. Yes, it is correct. Ores are minerals that may contain a metal. No, this is incorrect. This is incorrect because ores are minerals that will always contain a metal. That may contain. This terminology is totally incorrect. Okay, I am not going through the rest of those. Let's move on to question number 176. A compound X upon reaction with H2O produces a colorless gas Y with rotten fishy smell. Actually, I think it will be pH3. Y will be pH3. I am writing the equation. Now the gas Y is absorbed in a solution of CuSO4 to produce Cu3P2. Now I am writing, see, the compound X will be actually Ca3P2. I am writing the equation. Ca3P2 plus on reaction with H2O, it will be, I think, 6H2O. The balancing part you might check. It will produce actually calcium hydroxide and phosphine. Here the phosphine is Y and it is X. Now this phosphine actually, whenever it reacts with CuSO4, it will definitely form Cu3P2, copper phosphide. Okay, clear? So ultimately X will be calcium phosphide, Ca3P2. Okay, let's move on to question number 177. Which of the following oxy acids of phosphorus has strongest reducing property? What do you mean by strongest reducing property? That means that itself can act as an oxidizer. That itself gets oxidized, right? So which one can itself gets oxidized? Obviously, which will have lower oxidation state. Okay, in H3PO3, phosphorus has oxidation state, it will be -6, it will be +3, it will be, so ultimately it will be +3. Okay, and here it will be, I think, +1. I think this will be the lowest oxidation state because here it will be +5. It is not possible to further oxidize. So ultimately it will be H3PO2 because it is the lowest oxidation state, +1. Okay, it can't be less than that. So 177 will be option number 2 because it can be oxidized. It itself oxidizes. Next question. Identify the correct formula of oleum. Very, very simple. H2S2O7 is known as oleum. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. 179. When neutral or faintly alkaline KMnO4 is treated with potassium iodide, ion is converted into X. X is. Actually, this is also a reaction which is written in your NCERT book. Page number 227. Page number 227. Okay, you can check it out in new version. 2MnO4 minus plus H2O plus I minus. It will be 2MnO2 plus 2OH minus plus IO3 minus. Okay, so the converted into X, the X is actually IO3 minus iodate. Okay, clear? Let's move on to the last question. A very good question. Crystal field stabilization energy. CFAC for COCl6, 4 minus is atho. Now this is actually an octahedral. Now here it becomes tetrahedral, but the oxidation state of cobalt remains the same, that is +2. So we know that delta T is equal to 4 by 9 of delta O. Now here the delta O is given, that is 18,000. So it will be 4 by 9 into 18,000. That means ultimately 2000 into 4, that means 8000 will be the answer. Okay, so option 3 will be my correct option. Is it okay, my dear students? I think all the questions are over. So my dear students, here we finish all the key answers of the NEET exam, ODISHA, which was held today, which was postponed due to the cyclone. I hope all the students gave you exam pretty well. Wish you all the best for your results. Thank you from Pathfinder. Thank you all.